Welcome back to K-EntBuzz, your go-to home for the latest, most touching, and emotional stories in the world of Asian entertainment. Today, we unravel a deeply moving story that has left countless fans across the globe in tears, a tale of silent sacrifice, unspoken loyalty, and the quiet strength behind stardom. It's about the beloved Xiao Zhan and his hidden devotion to someone he once shared the screen and spotlight with, Wang Yibo. What was once just fan speculation has now surfaced as a deeply emotional revelation. And trust us, this one will touch your heart like never before. In a world where showbiz often thrives on glamour, noise, and attention, it's the silent gestures that sometimes speak the loudest. Xiao Zhan, a name synonymous with grace, humility, and quiet strength, has always carried himself with admirable dignity. But behind the smiles and spotlight lies a story very few ever knew, one of personal sacrifice and emotional endurance, all for someone who once stood by his side during the rise of an unforgettable cultural phenomenon. Let's go back to 2019, when the Untamed exploded onto the scene and carved Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo into the hearts of millions. Their chemistry was undeniable, their brotherhood irresistible, and their journey unforgettable. As the world celebrated Wei Wuxian and Lan Wangji, behind the scenes, a genuine bond was forming, strong, delicate, and precious. But as fame surged, so did the pressure, scrutiny, and unfortunately, division. Rumors swirled. Media played games. Fans chose sides. And as speculations grew louder, Xiao Zhan chose to grow quieter. While the world questioned whether Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo remained friends, no one truly understood what Xiao Zhan was silently carrying on his shoulders. Not just the weight of his own fame and controversies, but the burden of keeping someone else's reputation untarnished, someone he cared about deeply. Sources close to production crews and industry insiders have started to reveal things Xiao Zhan never spoke about. One of the most poignant revelations is how, during the peak of online backlash that Xiao Zhan suffered in 2020, he intentionally diverted attention away from Wang Yibo, even though many knew they were still in communication. He refused to speak publicly about their relationship, not because it had ended, but because he didn't want to drag Wang Yibo into the chaos. It's now known that behind closed doors, Xiao Zhan was repeatedly advised to release statements, to speak out, to defend himself, and in doing so, distance himself from everyone, including Yibo. But he didn't. Not once. Instead, he quietly took the blows, allowed his silence to be misunderstood, and shielded Wang Yibo from being implicated in the online storm. A friend, a co-star, and perhaps something even deeper, Xiao Zhan chose to protect him, even if it cost him everything. What fans didn't realize then was that many of Xiao Zhan's projects were delayed not because he lacked offers, but because he turned them down, fearing association could hurt others. One insider shared that a brand collaboration meant for both he and Wang Yibo was cancelled due to the risk of backlash. Xiao Zhan chose not to contest it. He let it go quietly, asking only that Wang Yibo not be affected. And while Wang Yibo continued rising, a fact Xiao Zhan reportedly cheered for behind the scenes, the silence between them grew wider in the public's eyes. Fans mourned the seeming distance, not knowing that Xiao Zhan was walking through that storm with loyalty in his heart and tears he never allowed the world to see. Recently, during an off-record chat caught by a staff member close to Xiao Zhan, it was heard that he referred to Wang Yibo not just as a friend, but as someone I owe my quiet strength to. He reportedly said, "There were days when only the memory of our shared dreams kept me going." And this simple, heart-wrenching sentence has ignited a tidal wave of emotion across social platforms. Fans have started rewatching their interviews, looking back at fan meetings, decoding gestures and glances that now, in hindsight, were layered with more meaning than anyone realized at the time. Those soft smiles from Xiao Zhan when Wang Yibo spoke, the way he looked at him during concerts, or how he subtly shifted to make space for him on stage. All of it now feels like puzzle pieces in a story we're only just beginning to understand. Even more touching is how Wang Yibo himself has recently been dropping subtle nods to their past connection. During a recent live Q&A, when asked what he valued most in a person, he paused and said, Someone who doesn't speak, but shows up every time it matters. He didn't say a name. He didn't need to. Fans felt it, and the moment went viral within minutes. The most heartbreaking detail came from a backstage crew member on a recent variety show. Xiao Zhan had been offered a segment that required him to talk about past collaborations. He politely declined to mention names. But when the cameras stopped rolling, he was seen holding a worn-out notebook filled with handwritten notes and lyrics, one page titled Untamed Days. It included a line that read, "Some bonds are forged in silence and survive without words." It's this line that has now become a rallying cry among fans, not just of the show, but of the friendship, the brotherhood, and the kind of quiet love the world rarely sees. In the fandom world, where so much is dramatized, exaggerated, or simply imagined, this story of Xiao Zhan's real, quiet sacrifice has struck a chord that feels different. It's not about gossip. It's about grace. It's about choosing loyalty over self-preservation, about standing in the fire and shielding someone else from the flames, even when no one asks you to. As this touching revelation continues to spread, fans are coming together to honor Xiao Zhan's strength, Wang Yibo's quiet gratitude, and the bond that clearly transcends what cameras ever caught. The hashtags #SilentForYou, #ThankYou Xiao Zhan, and #EZhanForever have flooded platforms like Weibo, Twitter, and TikTok. And with every new post, a layer of Xiao Zhan's silent story unfolds, revealing a heart that loved so selflessly, it nearly broke. So, what's next for these two stars? Whether Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo choose to reunite on screen or not, whether they ever publicly address this bond again, one thing is clear. Their connection left an imprint not just on each other, but on millions who witnessed it. And now that the truth is out, fans are no longer speculating. They're celebrating. They're mourning the years of silence, yes. But more importantly, they're honoring the kind of devotion that doesn't need a spotlight to shine. And maybe that's the most beautiful thing of all. Thank you for watching this emotional journey on K-EntBuzz. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that go beyond the headlines and into the souls of the stars we admire. Until next time, let's keep believing in quiet love, loyal hearts, and the truth that always finds its way home.